at least 700 people online, so we want to get started. Hello. Okay. Penny, David, Afshan, Ina, Anna. I know the names. I will call them the people I know. I love seeing all the energy and enthusiasm, keeping in mind this is a virtual conference. So we're going to try and stick really closely to the time schedule for the many people who are online. What I would suggest, and I'll talk a little bit more after we have introductions before we get going. Fortunately, it's a warmish day out, so if you do want to chat, just step outside to the patio or go downstairs, since keeping in mind that our main focus, as happy as we are to see all of you in person, are the many people online around the world, some of them late at night, so we want to just keep going. So Murat, do you want to introduce Sanjay?
Hi everyone, we will be starting shortly. Those who are connected online are seeing the screen on here, and we have about I think 300 people already online connected, and we are waiting for another 400 to connect. So I'd like to take the chance to introduce the keynote address. The director of UNICEF's Global WASH Programs, Sanjay Vijay Sakara, is with us today, and he will be making brief opening remarks for announcing the 4th annual virtual Hygiene Management Conference. Sanjay, please, you are welcome.
Thank you for that, Murat. And my job is a simple one. It's to welcome all of you here in this room, but also the 600 or so participants online. It's really great, and it's incredible to see this kind of engagement on what is a really, really serious issue. And for me, at least, this is primarily a rights issue. So the key, the big challenges, if you like, and the bottlenecks are around enabling environment issues. So because it's a rights and dignity issue, a lot of the focus, as you know, is on making sure that the duty bearers are creating the right enabling environment in which these kind of taboo issues can be addressed. And I think really that's where the primary focus is on. However, also, it is about supplies and facilities as well, making sure that the right things are in place so that once these the enabling environment is there, the rights can actually be achieved, the rights of adolescent girls. So, bearing in mind that, there's a whole range of complex issues at stake, one of the key things that is really interesting on this is that this is an area of programming that is truly intersectoral, and we talk a lot about working across sectors and achieving outcomes across sectors. This is something that could sit anywhere within our organization, within your organization. It relates to the second decade and adolescent girls. But obviously, the education system plays a huge part in it, and actually WASH plays quite a minor part in it. And this relates to health outcomes, nutrition outcomes, and so on. And as I say, primarily a rights and dignity issue. So, in a way, it's wonderful to be able to kind of facilitate this kind of engagement around tackling what is, I think, one of the kind of hopefully one of the last bastions of taboo areas, and making sure that right from policymakers to practitioners, we take this seriously and we come up with the right solutions at the different levels, both policy as well as infrastructure, facilities, and supplies. So there's a huge body of work that is underway. We have a lot to do in terms of getting the evidence right, and this is, I think, as with many of these rights and dignity issues, understanding the context becomes really, really important. And the work that all of you are doing, and by that I mean the both the virtual participants as well as the people in the room is so relevant. And we are really, as UNICEF, really proud to be able to not, I think, just play our part in facilitating this thinking as well as action to happen. And really the commitment on our part is to make sure that in the 100+ countries where we have programming around these issues, that we take it seriously, and that we continue to facilitate this kind of the huge interest and the huge willingness for action that there is. So again, coming back to it, welcoming all of you. I think this is another area of innovation, apart from the very serious programming result that's at stake, is also the methodology. And I think this kind of virtual conference concept is talked about a lot, but I think this is actually making it happen and engaging so many people so actively. And I think this is something that we can do a lot more of in terms of engaging people and without having massive meetings that costs loads of money. So it's a very effective way of working, I think. I didn't have any slides, but I did have one slide. I don't know whether it's on the system, Murat. The next one. It's not this presentation. Okay, don't worry, that's fine. I just wanted to mention that just to recognize and remember our colleague, Woki Munyi, who was sadly was killed earlier this year. She was an education specialist, and she took part in the 2012 virtual conference. She presented on MHM in emergencies, and she was obviously passionate and dedicated to this issue, and really to say that this conference should be dedicated in her memory, and also is kind of testament to the fact that her work and her passion and energy lives on. So let's just bear that in mind over the next few days. But thank you so much again, and wonderful to welcome you to this event. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Sanjay, for making the opening address and showing the high-level ownership and talking about menstruation at that high level. I would like to invite Marnie Sommers of Columbia University to briefly go through the agenda, and we will do a brief agenda introduction because we want to make the time available for more, presentations and discussions for those online participants who are chatting and discussing and waiting for us to share the experience. Marnie Sommers, please.
So thank you, Sanjay, for the opening, and Murat, and yes, we will remember Woki, who was based in Somalia, for her wonderful presentation and her passion for MHM. There should be a slide up there. We'll get the technology right. Just a few minutes. Anyway, not that one. The one before, please. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to talk quickly because there's more important things, as Murat said, for us to be doing today than listening to me. This is our 4th virtual conference. What's very exciting, Yodit updated me this morning. So when we started 4 years ago, we had 70 online participants when we started off in the morning that day, or maybe that was the number they had at the end of the day. So far this morning, we have 700 online registrations. And just so you know, That's individual registrations. Generally, we find there's a lot of people sitting together or streaming, and so really those numbers will probably go up by the time the day is over. And they are dialing in from over 80 countries, many of whom want to go to sleep soon. So we're going to whip through this sort of morning introduction so that we can get right to the more interesting stuff, which is the presentations. Why are we still here today? After, this is the 4th year and there's a lot of interest, but we clearly still have a lot that we need to do. There's quite a long road ahead, even though I don't think any of us feel like what needs to happen is complicated, but we do need to understand better what to do and how to do it, and to have the political will and the resources to make it happen. So the next slide. Great. So here is the agenda for today. You all should have it. Either those, you should have received it online, or if you're sitting in the room, it should be in front of you. We have a number of presentations per session. The presentations, we tried to best accommodate time zones, so they may not always seem like they're in the most logical order, so please bear with us. We are trying to be respectful for people in different parts of the world who need to go to sleep. And there will be time for Q&A at the end of each presentation. For some people who are in places where the internet, as we received 4 emails this morning, is not cooperating, everything's been pre-recorded, so for those, we will still get to hear their presentation. There just may not be time for Q&A, or a possibility. At the end of each of our 3 sessions, we kindly ask 2 people who are with us in person to do a short moderated session where they will capture some of the themes, pose some questions to the presenters. So for those who are presenting in that session, we ask that they stay online so that they can respond to questions and hear what the 2 moderators have commented on. At the end of the agenda that you have in front of you, there will be an online film, a short film that was done with girls on MHM in Bangladesh. And then once we wrap that up, we're going to spend about an hour having a discussion, both the people in the room and those who are online. In past years, they've kept very busy on the chat box, thinking about what next year's theme should be, where the conference should be, and some other key issues. And then we will wrap up. Next slide, please. We're going to watch a little video that UNICEF put together last year. It was too late to show at last year's conference, so we just wanted to show it this year if possible. Yep. Is there sound? Can you stop it until you have the sound? Can you stop it until you have the sound? Okay. Okay, great. Some of you may have seen this already. We did circulate it at the end of last year. One thing for those of you who
all over the world, as girls,
the sound.
The challenge of understanding and managing their menses. This is particularly true for schoolgirls in low-income countries around the world discovering blood on their underwear for the first time, feeling an uncomfortable cramping in their lower abdomen, and finding themselves in a setting without toilets, water, or a supportive female teacher to explain the change happening in their body. Cultural taboos and secrecy only add to the problem, which results in this normal bodily function commonly interrupting a girl's ability to participate in school and progress academically. This is long overdue for attention and resources. Inadequate water and sanitation facilities compromise their ability to maintain proper hygiene and privacy during this difficult time. Water, even when available, is often located far away from the toilet, making it impossible for girls to privately wash before rejoining their classmates. More than half of the schools in low-income countries lack sufficient facilities for girls and female teachers. Where facilities do exist, they are frequently unclean, too few in number, unsafe, and also lack adequate means for disposal of used sanitary materials. Girls report dreading the idea of leaving signs of menstrual blood inside the toilet. Sometimes girls simply skip school during menstruation rather than face the possibility of an embarrassing incident or teasing by their classmates. The home environment proves to be yet another challenge for girls. Although public health experts have assumed that girls receive appropriate guidance from parents or extended family members, research now suggests that they often learn nothing about menstruation before its first arrival and may even try to hide evidence of it for fear of being punished. A growing global movement is beginning to focus more attention and resources on these issues. Annual virtual menstrual hygiene management for WASH in schools conferences started in 2012, co-hosted by Columbia University and UNICEF, unites more than 200 MHM researchers, programmers and policymakers working to globally address these barriers facing schoolgirls. A new publication entitled Menstrual Hygiene Matters provides in-depth guidance to MHM practitioners in the development and humanitarian fields. There are also girls' puberty books being published in Tanzania, Ghana, Cambodia, Sierra Leone, India, Zimbabwe and elsewhere, as well as numerous efforts to produce low-cost, environmentally safe sanitary materials. Experts must build on this momentum and continue to understand the impact of MHM on girls' ability to learn and thrive in school. Appropriate, cost-effective interventions and policies must be developed and implemented and adapted as necessary to be sensitive to local context and cultural taboo. To start with, we need to ensure that all schools provide gender-segregated, clean and functioning toilets for girls and female teachers. With our combined efforts, we can ensure every menstruating girl and woman has access to a safe, clean and private space in which to manage their monthly menses with dignity.
Great. Well, thank you, Mira Mohan, who's not here today, who helped to coordinate that video. So welcome again to everybody who's in the room. Welcome to those of you around the world. We're going to be going straight through.